time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Games.
12:04 on game day, game one of the Western Conference Final. Two Guys and a Goalie, brought to you by GS Construction, setting the industry standard for 50 years with quality, efficiency, safety, driving their success. GS Construction has a foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become a part of that team. Visit www.gsconstruction.ca and just click on Ready to Work, or just visit their page at Indeed.ca. And with their next Person Up program at GS Construction, it's not just a job, it could be a career. This is weird. This is really weird. I don't think we've ever had it where Cass and I have been in studio and Gager's at home. Gager, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, this is bizarro world here. This is good.
Goalies are just soft, as we'll get to today.
Oh my goodness! When the man's not even in studio, you say this. Holy smokes!
Throwing shade. He has no idea what I've gone through today.
Did you say today?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much you want to get into it, but I know where you were could be a bit of a hassle. So how'd that go over? Like,
how much time we got?
We got 55 minutes. We're good.
So, yeah, my daughter's going to a dance thing, the Joffrey School in LA, so need to update her passport. So I have to go to the passport place. My wife has Cass will know. She filled out the paperwork, but it's full of NIGOs. Like, there's not in good order is how she completed. So I got to the place. I get to the girl, and first of all, I can see the walk-ins. There's walk-ins and people with appointments. I try to book an appointment right away, but I can't. So I'm in the walk-in line. Oh, no. I get to the girl. She goes, "We haven't signed you haven't signed the paperwork." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Okay, so I run back to my wife's work. Okay, you got to sign here. We got to sign there. We go back. We get in line. We wait again. Go through. Okay, go sit down. Someone will be here. The thing is packed, right? But the girl's looking at my paper and goes, so looking at me, and I go, "Okay, you're the parent, Joaquin. It's Joaquin. Joaquin. Okay, well, I'll just I'll spell it WALKEEN, because the people that come out and say your name for the next available person, right? And I go, but everyone in here is Filipino. They can say my name. Just put it right. That's fine. Yeah. In my mind, I'm thinking that. But then I go, okay, for whatever, put whatever you want. So I'm sitting there looking at the wall with my daughter, and I'm listening to names because usually they butcher my name, but I got to make sure. So I'm all antsy and waiting, and finally, I hear this walking. Is there a walking? And I'm like. That's me. I'm sure that's me. And I pop up, but then I look around. There's like 10 other people that pop up going, "I'm a walking. I'm a walking. I'm a walking." I'm like, no. You sit your asses down. I'm walking. And so then I get into the office, and they go, "Where's the birth certificate? Excuse me?
Oh, no.
We need the birth certificate." So I'm like, oh, my gosh. So then race home, grab the birth certificate, but then I'm like, do I have to sit in line again? No, we can expedite you through or whatever. So I go through the fast line, and it worked out great. Get into the girl. She's Filipino. Oh, Joaquin, great name. Yeah, I know.
Of course.
And then so we go through it, and then my wife again has not put my guarantors, the person we use as a guarantor, her proper information in. So I'm scrambling to call her to get her, and I don't know how she had a picture of her actual passport that she texted to me. Anyways, needless to say, passport will be here June 19th.
There you go.
That's if I was there now, Dusty, there would be a lot less booze in that place. So it's a good thing I didn't come in.
That walk-in thing is hilarious.
Walk-in.
Do you have any walk-in? Yeah.
Me.
Walk-in. My God,
but
that's good.
The fact that tons of people I'm walking, and I'm like fighting with people trying to be me. It was crazy.
Chris over in the Nasty Chat says, "Never a boring day in Gagerland," which I think is pretty good. I like that. I remember when I got my first passport. I was early 20, like 23 maybe. I was living in Lethbridge, and I had to go to Calgary. I don't know if this is the same way now, but I mean, it was like a 4-hour line outside of the office to get the passport. It was a full day event.
Yeah, the Joaquin lines can be tough. I always try, like I've had to do it for all the girls in that, and my office isn't far from the downtown office.
Oh, okay.
The passport office, and so I would always just be like, I'm here half an hour before it opens, because then it's like I know I'm waiting half hour or 45 minutes, but I'm not going to have like the 4-hour timeline to wait. So that was always my strategy when I needed
Got
to
to find a way to get it done.
A Joaquin, yeah.
Book an appointment, and there's multiple places around the city. Like I went to the one in Mill Woods actually, so you don't have to always go to the downtown one, but book the appointment.
All right, well there we've learned that lesson today. Also, I quickly wanted to ask. You said you had the turkey sandwich, turkey, cheese, mayo, and mustard. Eh?
Yep.
See, I've never been a mustard guy on anything. So, but I think isn't mayo mustard on a sandwich very common?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I never do that.
It's super common. It's
Gage,
really good.
Gage, are you a mustard guy on your sandwiches?
Oh yeah,
Really?
I'm
wow.
big into the Senf, as the Germans say. Yeah, all sorts. I love it.
Maybe I've never given mustard a fair shot. You know,
It's nice. You get a little bit of the vinegar. Like it adds some sharpness to it. Adds
So
a
you're
little
not
depth to the
smothering it
flavor.
in mustard, just a little bit of mustard.
Just a little. Just a little.
all right. Okay, well that makes sense. Maybe
Yes,
I'll-
you use it. What do you use what kind of mustard do you use as a binder, or do you use mustard as a binder with your stuff?
Like on, well, depend. Like for
meat,
some, for smoking, I'll use it as a binder, like with the seasoning sometimes. And it just depends on what's going on, what I'm doing. So, you can, if I'm quick smoking something, then you use a little bit of mustard, just light, and usually just standard yellow. Sometimes Dijon, but usually just a standard level yellow with the spices. If you're going with like a typical barbecue style rub, it's always solid.
Good to know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that people use mustard in cooking either. Like this is all a new thing. This is all a new thing for me. So this is great. All right, the Oilers and Stars game 1 tonight. Let's just start with a few of the pressing issues right off the top. No Rupe Hintz. Game 1 for the Dallas Stars. I feel like I don't know if he'll ever be at that Barkov level in my mind, but I feel like he's kind of that. Remember when Barkov was the underrated player for like 7 years in the National Hockey League, and I feel like Rupe Hintz kind of fits that mold. Every time I watch him play against the Oilers, I just go, my God, Rupe Hintz is a great player.
Yeah.
Huge loss here, Cass.
Yeah, and it's the two-way aspect of what he does, right?
Yeah.
It's a two-way aspect. He was a guy that most likely was going to get the McDavid assignment, where that's probably the matchup you're going to see. And it'd be a tough one for McDavid. He's big. He's fast, plays well on both ends. Like he can score offensively, but really, really solid in the defensive zone too. So a huge loss. I know they're hopeful to have him in game 2, but for the Edmonton Oilers at the start of the series, you have to be looking at this and saying we have to take advantage without him in the lineup.
That's what I was going to say. Gager, how important do you think it is tonight to, and I know they're hoping to get Henry back here at some point too in the early part of the series, but Dallas should be technically easier to beat without Rupe Hintz than they are with Rupe Hintz. So if they can't get it done tonight, do you view that as much of a missed opportunity?
Yeah, I mean they took advantage of the Susie out of in the last series,
good point.
right? And they got that game. This is a huge opportunity. The thing is, when you look at the lineup of the Stars, even without Rupe Hintz, Dallas Stars are still a really, really good hockey team and solid down the middle with Johnson, Duchesne, Sagan, Steve. Like that's a solid line. But again, it's a completely other dimension if Rupe is in the lineup for the Stars. And again, a perfect time to hopefully for the Edmonton Oilers is get wrestle home ice advantage back.
I think Gager makes a good point, Cass, in that like if you go look at the Dallas Stars lineup right now, you're like, wow, really good group. And then you're like, oh yeah, Rupe Hintz isn't a part.
Isn't.
That's how deep they are, right?
Well, that's how deep they are was for the last part of the season. Wyatt Johnston was centering their third line.
Yeah,
that's how deep they are. Yeah. That's how deep they are. Like deep. Like your third line was Johnson and Jamie Benn and Logan Stankoven. Like that was your third line, which is where it's going to be a challenge for Edmonton. Is even without Hintz in the lineup, like they're still a really deep team up front. Like they have veteran experience. They have some guys that play physical. They have some guys that can play defense, and they have some guys that can put the puck in the net. Like it's still just a solid team. Like it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a tough series.
Gager, would you rather be a player on a team that has McDavid and Draisaitl and Hyman and Nuge and Bouchard and, with the way that those guys have played so far? Or would you rather be the team that is viewed as maybe the deepest team in the entire National Hockey League? Like, how do you weigh those two things?
Well, two completely different scenarios. I'm thinking just from a playoff, like looking at from a playoff standpoint. I think I'd rather have Leon and Connor on my team just for the X factor where those guys can go crazy. And yeah, I mean, the level of hockey in this next series is going to be really high. But those guys have the ability to rise above that level and play at, that ridiculous, ludicrous speed for certain amounts of time. And looking at the Dallas Stars do have some speed, but this is where I think you can kind of take advantage of a few players like Pavelski, Jamie Benn, Mason Marchment, not the fastest players by any means. And I think to a man, I don't know, that's what I was kind of thinking. Who's the faster team? Who's up front? I think the Oilers might have the slight advantage with that.
Okay, well, let's just stay on this topic then for a second, because yesterday in this time slot on Edmonton Sports Talk, Tommy and I went through all the position battles, right? So I don't want to go through them all again, but let me lay out what we determined for you, and then you guys can tell me if Tommy and I were way off or we were wrong on one. So goaltending, the edge went to Jake Ottinger and the Dallas Stars. On the blue line, we gave a slight edge to the Oilers. Tommy was leaning on that. I thought maybe it would be a soft. On the forward group up front, slight edge to Dallas because of the depth lines 1 through 4. Coaching went with the experience of DeBoer. He's been to like 4 conference finals, couple Stanley Cup finals. Hasn't won, but I mean he's been damn close with a lot of these teams. And then special teams. I mean, they always have top penalty kill, top power play in the playoffs right now, so they got that edge. Cass, where do you like? Do you see it the way we see it? I'm
going to disagree a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Well, which
disagree
one?
With, defense.
Okay. I thought soft. Tommy thought Oilers, and I was like, all right. Do you think Dallas?
I think
for
Dallas
sure?
has
Okay.
it. Oh,
yeah.
You have Heiskanen and you have Tanev that can be on the ice the entire game.
Yeah, a good chunk of it, especially because they don't really like that. Petrovic played like 16 minutes last game on their
How is that not advantage Dallas?
Well, I think the case that we were trying to make yesterday is that when Suter and Petrovic are out there, the Oilers should be able to.
But they don't have to be very often.
No, I mean, they still got to be on the ice like probably 15 minutes, right? Like, can you take advantage of that? I like Kulak Ceci more than I like that pair, I guess.
Yeah, I like Kulak Ceci too. In some ways, though, Kulak and Ceci were almost your second pairing.
Well, that's I mean,
like 5-on-5.
Yeah.
I would give advantage to Dallas in that regard.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying slight advantage Edmonton forward, for Edmonton.
The top end guys.
Just your top end guys, slight. Special teams advantage Edmonton, goaltending advantage Dallas. Agree on that one. But yeah, defense, I would say you have. I mean, in my opinion, you have to have the Dallas Stars for the defensive core.
Gager, where do you come out on this? Cass is kind of slightly opposite us on both forwards and D. Where do you come out on that?
Well, you'll be surprised. I'm going to say goaltending's even.
Whoa. Stop right there.
So are you an Ottinger hater or a Skinner lover?
Yeah, what's going on here? Explain this to us. This is fascinating.
Either of these guys have proved they can play at a high level in the conference final. Like last year, Ottinger looked quite human, right? And I don't know, guys. I won't say that Jake Ottinger isn't a really good goalie, because he is, but he had one good playoffs and everyone still talks about it. And he lost in Game 7 and let in a horrible goal to lose the series. So I don't know. I'm off the Ottinger train a little bit. I've seen some of the goals that he's allowed throughout these playoffs. He's made some good saves, but I don't think he hasn't been anywhere close to that level of play that he was able to do against the Calgary Flames 2 years ago. So what's happened in the past is way gone. And right now, I think Stuart Skinner has the opportunity to actually put his stamp on a series. He has a lot of ups and downs to draw upon here. So I give it even. Defense, I give it to Dallas, though. I just think that Heiskanen, he has the ability to have the puck a lot and produce that offense from the back end that I don't think we've really seen, though the Oilers haven't seen in the playoffs yet. I mean, we look at Doughty, he played well but got beat up. Hughes I didn't see the injury report, but there was probably a plethora of injuries that he was dealing with and was a shadow of himself in the latter part of that last series. And then I give the forwards to Edmonton just because of like I said, the big two.
I can't wait to see how this breaks down. What about coaching? I mean, DeBoer's got a ton of experience. Is that enough to give him a significant edge in that cast?
A slight edge.
Yeah.
Like coaching matters,
but not as much as we think.
But not nearly as much as we think, or we would like to assume it does in the playoffs. Like, and Knobloch even said this, and Gager, you can feel free to jump in and comment on this too. Like, you have the game plan, you put the game plan in front of the players, and yes, it's on the coach to be like, this is what they're doing on the power play, this is what they're doing on the penalty kill, this is how they're forechecking, these are the face-off plays. But then it's entirely on the players to go and do it. Like the coaching moments are the calling the timeout.
That's what I was wondering.
Making the goaltending
what are the
switch.
Elements of that?
Like that's where it's like, okay, this is where the coaching does, or this is the matchup I'm running. Like that the coach can. So they do have an impact on it, but just not to the level like of all those other things. You goaltending, special teams, defense, forward group. Like those are so much more where the series is played than on the coaching standpoint. I just think at times we kind of weigh too much on that. The coach has the or the X factor in this.
Gager, you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, Nobla's he's kind of hit a couple, at least doubles this whole playoffs, just implementing guys, taking guys out, putting guys in. Whoever has the better feel of the game and has the cojones to make some big decisions. I mean, it's so hard because you're going to look like a genius or a complete idiot, depending on how those players actually perform. But I don't know. I guess you give it to DeBoer a little bit just because this isn't unfamiliar territory for him.
If you are watching on YouTube right now, please hammer the thumbs up and subscribe. We have hit 8,400 subs, so that's good. Let's keep hammering that out as well. And, of course, if you're listening on TuneIn, on iHeart, or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. Just with these 5 categories that we were just talking about, Cass, I want to throw this to you. So if I was going to rank the categories in importance of winning a series, would it be goaltending, special teams, defenseman, forwards, coaching, or I don't know.
I mean,
would goalie and special teams be at the top?
No.
Okay.
No. Your forwards and defense are at the top, and they're equal.
Man, I think goaltending would be at the top.
No, because you can win a Stanley Cup with average to above average goaltending.
That's a good point. Basically, you're saying 5-on-5 play is the most important thing in the series.
Yeah, and for Edmonton, then special teams comes next. And for Edmonton, it's like if you can be even, especially in this series with how Dallas's penalty kill has been thus far, if you can have even 5-on-5, if you're even 5-on-5 and you win the special teams battle, you win the series. But it's like if you're not even 5-on-5, all of a sudden your special teams has to do something amazing. And your goaltending has to do something amazing in order to start to steal games and win the series, and then coaching at the bottom. So I would go defense and forwards are equal, and then I'd go goaltending, then I'd go special teams, then I'd go coaching.
Gager, what about the disrespect to the goaltending here? What do you think?
Like we're looking at the Avs 2 years ago, essentially, right? That they didn't require, but they also
and the Golden Knights last year.
Well,
Aiden Hill.
Aiden Hill was actually pretty good.
No, he played pretty good, but
his numbers are better than
average
numbers.
goalie.
Yeah.
Aiden Hill was playing like an all-star. You can't say that it was average goaltending.
Yeah, it's an average.
Could have won the Conn Smythe.
Average goalie.
Yeah, he no, not a chance. Kemper was slightly above average, I would say. He made some stops, but Aiden Hill was ridiculous. I think it comes down to goaltending in this series. I do.
Coming from the goalie.
Take away.
I agree. I agree with Gager. I agree with Gager because like Gager, to me, I mean, you still obviously. I think you're probably speaking more highly of Skinner than other people are in the market right now by saying the goaltending could be a solve. But I mean, no matter how good the Oilers play at 5-on-5, if Skinner is garbage, they're done. Right? Like he needs to. What does he need to be, Gager? Does he need to be just good, very good? What would you say he needs to be for them to win this series?
He needs to be hovering around, I'd say a 9-10, Dusty, to beat the Dallas. That's what it's going to come down to, for sure. And he's done that. Right? He's capable of that. And the Oilers are going to have to find a way to take the eyes away from Ottinger because this guy stops everything he sees. So it's going to this series, out of all of them so far, out of the last two, this one's going to come down to goaltending most. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys watched last night's game, right? Florida Panthers are a fantastic.
I watched the third last night. Yeah,
they're unreal, but Bobrovsky was like all world last night.
Oh, in the third period, he was fantastic.
And so are you telling, like, if any team should be able to go to the Cup final on average goaltending, I think it's the Panthers. But no, they needed Conn Smythe kind of goaltending to win that game, and they got it from Bobrovsky. The Oilers are going to need the exact same.
Yeah, maybe in a game this series, I'll agree with you to the extent that in one game this series, that will have to happen. But if I'm looking at the important things as a whole heading into it, over the course of an entire series, I still have to stick with your defense and forwards and your 5-on-5 play.
Well,
you're so lucky I'm not there, Cass. You're so lucky I'm not there.
Hey, guys, let's see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Two Guys A Goalie is brought to you by GS Construction. Join their team today at gsconstruction.ca. It looks like Adam Henrique is going to be sliding back in at some point here early in the series to give it another go. I don't think, Cass, you don't touch the top six right now. I think you probably leave that where it is. Mm-hmm. I've suggested that I'd put him at third line center, move McLeod to the wing, let McLeod kind of maybe try to get going that way.
Try to get going.
Who would come out of the lineup, do you think, right now?
Well, if he's playing center, Sam Carrick's coming out.
And then you throw Derek Ryan back down to fourth line center?
Down to fourth line center. Here's my thing. And I know we're talking about Henrique and the possibility coming back. It's a high ankle sprain. He's not coming back at 100%. High ankle sprains are 6 to 8 weeks to be completely normal, depending on the severity of it. Now, usually when people say high ankle sprain, that usually means it's pretty severe, and it's worse than a break, typically, from a hockey playing standpoint. Because a break, it's like, well, 4 weeks, usually it's healed enough, frozen up, and you're good. High ankle sprain's not necessarily the case. So I still have my doubts if he comes back, at least early in the series. I would say, I wouldn't. Maybe he's coming back game 4, game 5. If he comes back before that, he's 100% not 100%. So I don't know if it's a moot point or not. But Ryan probably slides into that fourth line, and Henrique probably in the third line, and hopefully McLeod, you slide him over at that point. That's probably what I would look to do. But we'll have to see. All depends on him actually being well enough to play.
Gager, what say you if he gets back in? How do you handle it?
Yeah. I hate to see Carrick come out, though.
I do, too.
Yeah, me too. What about Brown? Could you not?
Yeah, maybe.
You go Ryan, Carrick, Janmark. Brown comes out, maybe?
I like that better, actually, Brown coming out. I just think Carrick gives you that little extra edge. There's a little bit more physicality.
Yeah, there's some bite there.
I think that'll be beneficial over the course of this series, just getting in on that D. Every time you get a chance, Heiskanen gets bumped, or they all get worn down. There's some older legs, like Ryan Suter's got to take a lot out of him. Not that he's going to play a lot, but I mean, he's lost a step. But you can force him to probably create some turnovers. And geez, guys, I remember a few games with even with Heiskanen in Edmonton. I don't know if it was this year or the year before, but there were times when he, they were forcing him and he was turning the puck over. So he's a great defenseman, unbelievable. But there's there are tendencies in his game that the Oilers can take advantage.
I think I remember what you're saying, and it was last season because I remember I was really hyping him up coming into these games against the Oilers, and then they didn't really have an issue with him, and I was like, like, am I wrong on Heiskanen here, or did the Oilers with McDavid's speed? Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about. Like, Heiskanen's a great skater for a big man. Can he be the guy? And then at least in that game, I remember coming in the next morning and being like, what's the deal with Heiskanen? Like, how did he not play better against the Oilers in this situation? But I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Like,
Heiskanen?
Yeah.
Or does the teams?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
both.
the teams
Both,
too, but
yeah.
I'd like to get like a good 7-game dose of Heiskanen to see exactly what they have there, right? Like he's been outstanding for them so far. All right, let's get into your bigger and hotter headlines for Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. BMPP is a real pizzeria restaurant, not just a delivery pizza chain serving authentic Italian cuisine with their made-in-house pizza dough, traditional tomato sauce, and fresh toppings. Each pizza cooked to perfection, a pizza experience that you've been waiting for. Visit them at 12848 97th Street, or just hop online. Make it easy. www.bmpp.ca or call 587-746-0550 if you want to get nuts and order in the 36-incher that they've got over there. 587-746-0550. All right, let's get into some of these bigger and hotter headlines. Sheldon Keefe, we got to go, and we'll come back around to the Oilers and Stars, obviously, here when we get into hired or fired for GS Construction. I did not see him being scooped up right away. Maybe I was just thinking, he's Toronto. We'll see. It might take a while. Were you surprised when you saw the news that he was the head coach of the Devils already?
I was maybe surprised a little bit at how fast it was, but I wasn't shocked. Shocked. He had a really good record.
Like you thought he was going to get another gig somewhere.
But maybe not that quick. Really good record in Toronto. And I think Joaquin and you had texted this too in the group chat, but like, he's a young players coach. Seems to have done really well with young players. So it's not overly shocking that he signs with a team that's got a bunch of young guys, maybe needs a little bit more of the pat in the back style for a team that's trying to grow into its maturity versus a Toronto team that should be at that level already. So it's not shocking. Again, like I was surprised at how quick it happened, but I wasn't shocked.
Gagey, you think this is the right thing for this Jersey team right now?
Yeah, I kind of do, guys. Like this is what we were talking that the Leafs kind of need the firm hand, but I think they're at an age where they're much more susceptible to that. Whereas young team like the New Jersey Devils saw some, them take a step backwards this year. Keefe's proved he's a really good regular season coach, right? Why not?
Coaching doesn't impact playoffs, nature. Remember that.
But he's going to run into the same type of thing that it seemed to sort itself out a little bit. But goaltending in New Jersey has to get sorted out, or else it's a goal or a coach is only as good as his goaltender in the NHL. If they don't fix that, he's not going to be there long.
All right, let's stick with the coaching. Jim Hiller, permanent coach with the Los Angeles Kings. We just got a look at his Los Angeles Kings. Gager, let's start with your thoughts on that one. I guess when you get a feel for the team, you got a little bit of an advantage to lock up the gig full time. Do you think he's the right guy to take the Kings to wherever the Kings are headed? I'm not 100% sure where they're supposed to be next year.
That one's surprising, Dusty, just because it seems like all roads will lead through either kind of, you got to say Vancouver or Edmonton at this point, and that 1-3-1 or whatever that defensive structure, maybe it'll change. I mean, but he kept it status quo, right? There wasn't much difference in coaching styles from him and McClellan. That shocked me a little bit. So I guess we'll see what the Kings look like next year. But I thought they would go in a different direction.
I thought Rob Blake was going to be fired after Dubois trade.
I thought he was going to get canned this summer too.
I don't so, but he makes the call on this one. He must like the way that the team looked under Hiller.
Yeah, I'm like, do they stick with the 1-3-1? That's the question, isn't it?
Well, it hasn't got you by the Oilers in a few tries.
No.
So what do you do? I think they've got the personnel to mix it up. It's not like it's a very untalented team, and they're just like the only hope we have is to.
That's
hang
what
back.
I mean. Like, do they try to switch something to where they're more aggressive? Like what, and maybe that's what some of the meetings were about when they were making that decision and they're deciding, okay, well, you know what, you kind of just ran things back for the rest of the year, taking over partway through, heading into it where you've got training camp, you've got time, you can readjust, reevaluate, reteach, do what you need to do. What are you going to change? What's going to be different this year? And I wonder if that was addressing the 1-3-1, because you even heard, and that's where it was a little bit surprising, like some of the comments coming out of LA in their dressing room after the loss to Edmonton, where some of the players were kind of expressing frustration with the 1-3-1 and
they did. Fiala and others,
and so I'm curious to see if they try to run back the systems or if he comes in and switches it up a little bit. So, and I just, if I had to bet on it, which I won't, but if I did, I would probably say he switches it. And I am betting that was part of the exit meetings with all the players and part of the meetings with Blake and with the staff as a whole, to where they're like, hey, this is the direction we're going to go. Because I think if he would have said, I'm just going to run it back and we're going to do the same thing, I think he's gone.
We'll try something else now, from somebody else, right? I would agree with that. I think Brett 8 over on YouTube says if they go back to the 1-3-1, there's going to be a mutiny. In LA.
Thanks, Brett.
Yeah, no, I think I would agree with you on that one. Sticking with coaches, Rick Tocchet wins the Jack Adams. Brunette was up there. Laviolette was up there. Bones in Winnipeg was up there. And Chris Knobloch actually finished 5th in voting for the Jack Adams. Had 3 first-place votes along the way as well. We joked this morning. I didn't know Stoff had 3 votes, but he apparently got them all done. Anyway, listen to Stoff's show every day on Ched, starting at 5 o'clock. Future friend of EST. But Gager, I mean, it doesn't really mean anything in the end, but still pretty impressive that Knobloch comes in, takes over, first-year coach, gets a few votes, gets in the mix for this. And Rick Tocchet, congratulations to him on a hell of a job in Vancouver this season.
Yeah, I mean, that was, trying to think back, I was shocked that they got rid of Woody. I know it was kind of writing on the wall. I think they still would have turned things around. But again, I think that kind of the calming presence of Knobloch was needed, I think. It seemed like Woodcroft kind of got caught up in overcoaching at times, and I, it was almost too much. The one thing that I really took when he first took over was, we're just getting them to focus on 2 or 3 things, right? Not 7 or 8. There's something what he said, and just simplify the game. And we saw what the result was. It was 16 straight wins. But just saying that with Pierre-Luc Dubois, he's got 7 points over the World Championship. So this is
on
3 goals, 4 assists, plus 1. He's look out.
Look, I'll say it. I already got the mitt today, so I don't have to worry about it. But maybe he should stay in Europe if that's where he finds his success. Right? That might be the best.
It's the big ice. He's good on the big ice.
He's a big ice guy.
Big ice guy.
There's more room for his casual on-ice cardio on the big ice. A little bit more room to. A little bit more room to.
Hey. So with the 3 votes, just to jump back to that, and that was great. When Dubois commented. I love it. That was nice. That was good. I like it.
Thanks, Cass. I was proud of my work.
Do you think it was 1 vote for Knobloch and 2 votes for Paul Coffey?
I mean, maybe that's what it ended up being. Yeah,
that might be what it ended up being, because he point and show me, and I'm not. This is me not. I want to be careful, because I think he deserved it and deserved the votes.
Yeah.
So let me start with that. But he didn't have to change anything. Like he didn't. All he had to do was be like, "Hey guys, like go play."
Yeah.
And then they woke up. Now I think on the back end, with the way the communication maybe was with Manson and with the defenseman, where Coffey was just able to get more out of those guys, and that's not
I think
just
Stewart's involved heavily in that too.
Stewart as well. Like so, it's a committee thing, and that's where I made the comment 2 votes for Coffey, where it's kind of everybody in that. But I don't think they changed that much. But they turned it around. So,
hey, one more on coaching just here on the bigger and hotter headlines for Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. Well, how long do you think before Woody surfaces somewhere? I had somebody in the chat was just like, man, Woodcroft's a better coach than Keefe. He should have got that job. Cass, what do you think?
I was surprised. Do we know? Did he interview for it?
In a cycle here. I don't know. I'm not Google searching Woodcroft interviews every day. So, I mean, I would assume he'd be on some of these lists, though.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't he doing commercials now? I saw him doing.
I saw him hawking some natural. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
The biggest hobo. Yeah.
Man, I respect the guy. I respect the guy having hustle though. Like, I love it.
Hey, if I have a hair dye company, I'm looking at Woodcroft. Like that stuff looks amazing.
That would be the way to go about it. Those are your bigger and hotter headlines for Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. You can try to get your hands on that 36-incher that they got. Maybe you're having a party for the game tonight. Go and pick one of them. Well, you have to order it, and they deliver it in a special vehicle to come to your house. They also just have regular size pizzas and slices available at Big Mama's and Papa's. 12848 97th Street is where you can find them over there.
It comes in Ecto 1, I believe.
It sure should.
Tom,
I mean, it really should. That'd be great. I saw Ghostbusters nerd Tommy the Wrench in the Nasty Chat today. He's like, Cass is in studio. Yeah, Tommy was gone. You didn't see him. He was gone by the time you. Okay, yeah,
he was gone.
Cass is in studio.
He was gone.
Pre-game show tonight. Mm-hmm. Post games have been fun. I think what I'm most looking forward to tonight, regardless of how the results go, is hopping in on the post-game chat.
Oh, it's always so fun.
I love hopping in the post-game chat,
so
watching
fun.
the show. It's,
if you've never joined in, you should join in. It's a blast.
GCL Diesel pregame show gets fired up right here in Edmonton Sports Talk. 5 o'clock today, Tommy Gazzola will be set up, Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall. Go see him at Hudson's. He's got some gift certificates that he will be ready to dish out to you as well. All right, let's keep rolling along. Of course, Two Guys and a Goalie presented to you by GS Construction, as is Hire It or Fire It, GS Construction. They are hiring now. Become a part of their great team today by visiting gsconstruction.ca or hop on their page at indeed.ca. For the past 50 years, the foundation of GS Construction has been built on efficiency, quality, and safety. Take your career to the next level. Join the team at GS Construction. All right, let's get back to the Oilers and Stars here just a little bit. Evan Bouchard will lead this series in time on ice for both teams. Hire it or fire it.
I'm going to hire it.
You think so?
I think so.
Even more than Heiskanen.
Even more than Heiskanen, because you have Tanev on that same side. And Tanev plays that defensive game, blocks a lot of shots. They'll both be on the ice a lot. And I think they'll kind of balance each other out. Where for Edmonton, I mean, it's Bouchard on that side. So he's going to play all the power play. Going to play a lot on 5-on-5. So, yeah, I think he does.
Gager, what say you, buddy?
Hey, everything's bigger in Texas, and nothing's bigger than a Bouch bomb. So yeah, I'm hiring it. He's gonna munch the minutes.
I think a lot of it will come down to the power play. Like if they're getting 3-4 power plays a game, I mean that's going to add on 7-8 minutes to his totals.
Well,
right?
if they're not scoring.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're scoring
and on a minute and a half, because they're scoring the first 30 seconds.
We'll see how that goes. Okay, so this one, I picked a player who obviously had a huge season last year, but let's just assume Heiskanen's the best player on the Dallas Stars, okay? I got Jason Robertson is the second best player on the Stars. Hire it or fire it?
Ooh. That's good, but I'm going to fire it. I'm going to say that Wyatt Johnson.
By the way, he's been playing right now for sure. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm going to go with him in this series.
Yeah. Johnson's been their most impactful forward so far. Like
he has been.
Robertson's pretty damn talented though.
Heinz might be the next best though.
He could be an answer too. That's why I said
I think I got to fire and go with Heinz. I think he's right there. Johnson's really good though. And Robertson's really good though. Like that guy can score.
Yeah. They're a good team.
That guy score goals.
What a series.
Yeah, I got to fire it and just go Heinz. Because I think he is. Although he's hurt, so that's where I'm just like, well, can I say that?
Let's see how it ends up working out.
Yeah.
Right? All right, Ryan McLeod picks up at least 2 points in this series. Hire it or fire it?
Fire
it. No hesitation, no justification, and everybody's probably like, of course, Gage, you're right. Cass, what do you think?
I'll disagree on this one. I'll go hire it. I think he chips in a little bit.
There has to be a point somewhere.
There has to be. There has to be.
Like
There has to be.
it's
It's got to happen.
I'm going to bring up his game log because, like, if you look back, let me see. Is this?
There has to be, guys.
Yeah,
Gager, it has to be.
Yeah, there should be. There'll need to be, but
So what you're saying is the Oilers are getting
I
swept.
don't even
That's
know
what
if,
you're saying.
I don't even know if I'd say.
Gager's saying, Dusty Gager's saying the Oilers are getting swept. That's what he's saying.
No, we'll get to official predictions in 10
All
minutes. I don't even think I agree with you that there needs to be. I think the Oilers could win this series with Ryan McLeod laying the goose egg out again.
Probably,
I mean, you want it though. My God. So let's see here. He has no points in the playoffs. The final month of the season in April, he had 4 points, all assists. He has no, so he doesn't have a point since April 10th. It's almost June. And his last goal was March 21st against Buffalo. March 21st. That's over 2 months ago.
Struggle bus.
He hasn't scored. And he's a guy who's getting like 14, 15 minutes a night.
Struggle bus.
Man.
maybe the benching and even the humiliation of not even being able to wear your helmet at the end of the series because who was wearing it?
Hyman was
Zach
wearing
Hyman.
it. Yeah, Hyman was wearing his helmet. Yeah.
Hyman was trying to put some juice into that thing,
Yeah.
so he would go into the hard areas to score.
Let's get some of his
That's
sweat
what
in
they were
there.
trying
Yeah, see if
to-
that sweat seeps over.
It was osmosis by helmet, so hopefully he gets a little bit more sandpaper. I don't know.
I love that theory.
He scored a great goal for the Vancouver Canucks.
They
That's what I
went
was
to
gonna
wash
say.
his helmet after the game. He's like, no, just
Don't
leave
wash
it.
it.
I'll go to the net now. Like, you know what? I'm gonna, and I've been very anti McLeod, but I'm gonna say it tonight. I think he gets a point tonight.
Woo!
Yeah.
What if he
There-
gets two tonight?
No, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. I think he scores a goal tonight.
Wow.
I wasn't idiot. I'm not betting it. I'm
That's
not gonna
why
go
you
to
got
cool.
the
I'm not-
mitt, Dusty.
I'm
That's
full of
why
hot
you
takes
got
today.
the mitt.
Full of hot takes.
Yeah.
Today. All right, let's go here. Stuart Skinner has a very short leash in game one. Hire it or fire it.
I'm gonna fire it. By short leash, do you mean what?
I mean, if he gives up 2 goals,
he's getting yanked.
if let's say he gives up 2 goals on 5 shots in the first 10 minutes and one of them's weak, are you pulling him or are you going to ride that out? I think that's a fair scenario. Is that
Yeah, no. So early pull or not getting a second start. Kind
early
of what
pull?
you're
I'm
saying,
talking
like,
early pull.
Early pull. I'm gonna fire it. I think you allow him to try to get it back after that amount of time. But on the other side of that, then the decision to go to Pickard's pretty easily after that. So I'm gonna fire it.
I hate agreeing with Gager, but I probably got to fire it. I think he comes back in the Vancouver series and wins a couple of games, wins you a series. You're probably going to let him work through it a little bit in game one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, it has been pointed out, Dallas is a team that has been susceptible to some comebacks along the way. So you're still sitting there going, we got 50 minutes to claw back in this. Let's give Stu a chance to be a part of that, right? Especially early in the series. So,
Yeah.
All right, and let's get to this one. I don't know if you guys are listening this morning about my fascination with this, but Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone in the JFK assassination. Hire it or fire it.
Hire it. Nah, there was a second shooter,
Had to be.
Dusty. Grassy knoll. Had to be.
I listened to that Rob Reiner podcast, Who Shot JFK?
Yeah.
They laid out 4 shooters and the names of the 4
4.
shooters. Yeah, they broke this thing down. It was wild. They had you got to listen to that podcast. It's if you have any sort of interest in it, listen to the podcast. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's good.
Just go watch the Seinfeld episode, the Keith Hernandez episode.
Yeah, the Magic Loogie, the Magic Bullet. Like
The Magic Loogie. Magic Bullet. Same thing.
What a classic episode
that
that
was
was.
such a good episode.
Yeah.
There's just no way he could have fired that many, just to fire that many shots that quickly.
Well, all you need to do, guys, and ladies, everyone watching, everyone listening, is you just go to my website, www.thetruthmatters conspiracies.gov/org // Grassy Knoll dot Lee Harvey Oswald /gov.org, and it just lays everything out there, all nice and clean. And he definitely acted alone.
Oh my God, unbelievable! This guy. Have you not watched the movie JFK?
It was like no, but I've read enough. It's super interesting.
It is very interesting. It's pretty fascinating.
And I think the defining moment.
Did you go to the spot? Have you been to like?
No, I didn't go to where that happened.
I went and checked it out when I was down there for the draft.
Yeah, I didn't.
It was kind of neat to be like you're standing, like you're just right
piece
there.
of history.
I'm like, man,
yeah,
this is
just right in the middle of the ring.
Like,
yeah. I'll remember it was a documentary I saw. This was a number of years ago now, so I can't remember which one it was. But all the people that were like, "There's no way he could have got the shots off in that time," and you had like a 70-year-old guy that was didn't seem to be doing great health wise, that was holding the same type of rifle, and he's just like click, click, click. He's like, "That's the time," and you're like, "Oh wait, he probably could have actually done it himself."
I don't believe that he did. I've been fully convinced that he has. And you know what's funny is I watched JFK like a long time ago, and then I listened to the podcast and I was like, "Well, I'm going to watch."
The movie's so stylized, you can't even.
No, I like this fun movie, and so I'm watching it, and it gets to like when I watched the Seinfeld episode the first time, I was like, "Oh, this is funny," but I didn't realize that it was the same actor that was in, like I knew he was in it, but I didn't know it was like the exact same bloody scene that they recreated, and they're doing it on JFK, and I'm watching it, I'm like, my God, that makes it even more genius on Seinfeld.
Oh, so much in that show is genius, though.
Just brilliant.
Dusty, you'll appreciate that. We just need to find Stanley Goodspeed because he has the microfiche with who actually killed JFK. If you remember, at the end of The Rock, he found it. With,
he got it all. It was in the it was in that little church.
Honey, you want to know who really killed JFK?
You're right. God. What a great movie that is,
so great.
too.
Wasn't it supposed to be originally? It was supposed to be like Arnold in that movie was who they wanted.
What?
Or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was like Arnold.
That would have failed miserably.
And he said no. And then it was like a backup to the backup was Nick Cage, which ended up being absolutely perfect for that. That was
that's when Nick Cage was on his all-time run. Let me bring up that run for Nick Cage here before we wrap, because I mean I think it was Con Air, it was Face Off, and The Rock, and I think they might have been in like back to back. It was. Let me see. I got to bring this all the way up. Let me scroll. We got to go back quite a ways for this, but man, he makes a lot of movies. My God. All right, here we go. Yeah, so it was Leaving Las Vegas, which he won the Oscar for.
Yeah.
Then he goes The Rock, Con Air, Face Off. Like,
pretty good run.
What a run.
That's a pretty good run.
What a run. And then he goes City of Angels, which I've never seen. Snake Eyes, which was a classic. I love Snake Eyes. And then 8mm, and then Gone in 60 Seconds. So
that's a pretty good run.
I mean, mid to late 90s, Nick Cage was the man, for sure. I absolutely love that guy. All right. And you know, he's taken on that Spider-Man. Do you see this? They're making like Spider-Man Noir, and he's going to be a part of it.
I
don't know anything about that.
Or the cartoon one, not the kids one, but the
yeah.
But based
he
on
was the voice.
Yeah, he was the voice into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, he was the voice in there already
of that character.
Oh,
that
okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that already. Yeah.
Those are. By the way, if you haven't watched those, Dusty,
I haven't.
Oh,
they're good, eh?
Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, and Across the Spider-Verse, fantastic.
I listened to like Mark and Corey's podcast, the MCTV podcast, and they spoke very highly of those two movies. Yeah,
unreal. The animation. Because it's like if I'm watching animation, like I like good animation is cool, and seeing artistically how they do things. The story I liked better in the first one. The second one was still really good, but the visuals in the second movie were spectacular, absolutely spectacular, beautiful to watch. I really like those two.
I might have to check that out.
I'd have them up there. Like if I'm looking at like top animated films of all time, both of those would be they'd be inching up.
Really, that high up there?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, holy smokes.
Really good.
Even better than the original Robin Hood from Disney?
No, they're probably over top of that. That one was solid, though.
That's my favorite one.
Good movie.
That's my favorite one. I love that one. Yeah, it's such a classic. I love it. Okay, so predictions. I said this morning, a couple of days ago, I was leaning Stars in 7, but I gave in. I'm straight up homer pick. I took the Oilers in 7. I'm worried about it, though, for sure. Cass, what are you going?
When I sat down here today, I was thinking Oilers in 7. but that's like a tight Oilers in 7.
I know.
Like it really could, like if the Oilers lost in 6 or lost in 7, I wouldn't be shocked because you could play 6 or 7 really good games against Dallas and lose. Really. So I'll stick with the Oilers in 7 because that's what I thought coming in here, but I feel like I've emotionally and mentally swung back and forth multiple times. So that's where I am in this moment.
It's gonna be a great series.
Yeah, if you ask me in an hour, I could feel completely different.
Gager, what do you got?
He's picking Dallas in 4. He already said it earlier. I quote, Dallas is winning in 4.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it, but I think it's Dallas in 6.
You know, Gager, I'm not even going to be like, you're way off.
No, because
I mean, it's a valid pick. It really is. It's a good one. Hey, if you want,
it's in pencil. It's in pencil right now. I don't want to. I need a game to see. I just need one.
That's
game.
true. You'll get a way better feel.
Yeah, you get a way better feel for it. Well, that's like
we should always do predictions after game 1.
Everyone, yeah.
New rule.
New rule. Only after game 1. Everyone was. I got absolutely ripped into in the nasty chat because I adjusted after watching game 1 of the Edmonton Vancouver series because I said Edmonton in 6 and I was like, it's probably going to be tighter than everyone's saying. Because everyone was like, Edmonton is going to dominate. And I was like, it's probably going to be tighter. And I still like Edmonton in 6. And then we watched that first game and I'm like, Edmonton in 7. And then everyone's like, oh, well, you already saw the first game in this and they already, I'm like, well, like, because you do get such a better feel after actually watching the teams play. But yeah.
One more comment from the nasty chat over in YouTube. It says, Robin Hood, PJ. I like that. Hiss. Have them put it on my luggage. PJ. I love that, man. I love that movie. I can sit here and read those quotes all day. All right. Hey, if you want to bet on the series, I do have the EST Parlay, which is up right now over at CoolBet, our exclusive betting partner here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Go to coolbet.com. Click on exclusives. You can still get on that series parlay we've set up as well, but you can get on the parlay tonight. It's over 7-1. Oilers win, score more than 3.5 goals. Draisaitl with at least 2 points. Hyman scores and Bouchard with a point. So if the power play clicks tonight, I like the chances of that one hitting. All right, 2 Guys and a Goalie presented to you by GS Construction. If you're looking for a new gig, GS Construction has you covered. Visit them at gsconstruction.ca. Have a good pre and post tonight. We'll be watching that for sure. Gager, if you want to make up for today, you can come around here tomorrow morning and have a couple bevies with the boys if you want. Beer of the week, right? You never know. So.
I might, I got I got to hit Commonwealth tonight. I got to learn a new system. So.
Oh boy! Hey, maybe I'll see you. I got
slinging wieners.
I got a meeting at Commonwealth at 2:00. When are you going there?
Later tonight.
Well, then I'll just hang out and wait for you.
Yeah, don't you know they only sling wieners
I'll
at
make
night.
you a dog.
Yeah, wieners get slung at night.
Yeah, that's right. I want you to start splitting those wieners like a whistle dog, Gager. That'd be amazing. What a twist.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going for a whistle dog right now. That's my plan.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm hitting whistle dog and then driving over to Commonwealth. What a great afternoon. I love it. All right, boys, enjoy game 1 tonight, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Sweet.